Hey Mama Gang, welcome back. So in today's video, we're going to cover postpartum mental health. Now, mental health is a very special topic to me because I do suffer from mental health challenges. Not quite ready to discuss them yet, but I will be. I definitely will be. But I've experienced some various mental health challenges, major one of them being like depression. So one thing that was very concerning for me with having a baby would be what I experienced postpartum depression, what I experienced any type of mental health challenges. So those are things that I was very concerned about during the time of me having Sire. So what I ended up doing was just learning more about mental health in regards to maternal mental health. I learned more about what I should do, what I should look out for. I even got in touch with a mental health counselor who specializes in postpartum depression, anxiety, OCD, and psychosis. So I wanted to make sure that I would be good when it comes to my own mental health. Now, after having a baby, women can experience baby blues, okay, as well as postpartum depression. Now, baby blues can start immediately after giving birth, and it can last for up to like 2 to 3 weeks. Now, anything longer than that is likely postpartum depression and something you should definitely seek help for. And I want to share with you a little bit. After I had Sire, I was feeling really good, really excited. Love my baby to death. Like, you love your baby completely. But as like the weeks went on, like the first week or two went on, probably like the second or third week, I started feeling sadness, mostly around the evening time, and that was only because I had to start preparing for the night, getting all his little bottles ready. I had to start just kind of getting all his nipples ready, like just getting the nighttime together, putting him to bed. And you know, we didn't have a real routine yet, so I would fall asleep with him on the couch, and then I would have to get up and put him in the bed. Like, so it was no routine, so it was making me a little anxious. But nothing like postpartum anxiety, but it was just making me a little anxious at night because I was just still trying to get used to having a baby, you know? So what was happening was when the nighttime came, I was getting really sad, and I needed to kind of figure out a good little nighttime routine for us so I wouldn't get sad, just so we could have it together. I knew that the night was coming and that I would be up with him every 3 hours, and I would have to pump every 3 hours. So it was just really difficult, and I was feeling really sad about it. But it wasn't anything that turned into postpartum depression because I talked to a couple friends. Now, the one thing that I suggest is phoning a friend, okay? Talking to someone who's been there before, even if it's a mother who's a couple. Like, I have mom friends that are even like 2, 3, 4 months ahead of me because they've experienced what I'm about to go into. So even if you have mom friends that are just even a couple weeks ahead of you, they've just experienced it a little bit quicker, you know, a little before you, you know? So just talking to them was so helpful. I even had mom friends who are like second or third time moms, meaning they already have a child, maybe over 5 or 6, maybe 10, maybe even in their teens or 20s, and then they had a new baby. So even speaking to them was very helpful. So I would phone a friend every day, a different friend. I had my mom list together of who I'm going to reach out to in the moments that I need them, and they really helped me. So I think that was one of the reasons why I didn't experience postpartum depression, because I really just phoned those friends right away when I was experiencing something new, and they would just help me through it. So 1 in 7 women actually experience postpartum depression, and baby blues can affect up to 80% of women. So it's very common. There's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's a weird phenomenon because you go from like, oh my God, I'm so in love with my baby, to like, oh, I'm so sad. And sometimes the sadness for me would even happen during the day too. Like, it was mostly at night But during the day too, like I would be holding him and then I would just feel this overwhelming sadness that I couldn't explain, or I would be pumping and I would feel like an overwhelming amount of sadness. And there is even like it's called Demer, a pumping, like a depression that can happen during pumping, like the initial letdown. You feel really sad. It's called DMEI. I can't remember what it stands for. I didn't have it, but if you look it up, there's a lot of information. There's not a ton of information on it, and it's still like people are still discovering it, but it's something that is real too, like the initial sadness of a letdown that can happen. It goes away, but you know, that's another thing moms struggle with as well. So I wanted to share just a little bit of my story, just not what I did, but I also want to talk about some things that helped me, meaning like journals and phoning a friend. So some other things that I want to talk about here is even postpartum anxiety, psychosis, and OCD. Now, I haven't experienced any of those, but they are real issues that can happen to a mom. And if you are experiencing super anxiousness or a little OCD, or you're feeling a little disconnected from reality, or just having really bad thoughts, please seek help. Please seek out a counselor. I personally love Jessica Landon at Horizon Health Services here in Buffalo, New York. You can even just call and ask to speak to her, because she's really good, and she informed me about all the different types of postpartum mental health challenges that I could potentially have, you know, experience, and it was really, really helpful. So I definitely suggest reaching out to her or any counselor and just seeing how they can help you get through what you're going through. So some things that helped me, again, phoning a friend was very helpful. Also, knowing that the newborn phase absolutely sucks. I'm not even about to sit up here and sugarcoat and say that it was the most beautiful thing ever. It is, but you also have that time where it's just, this just sucks. Like, you're up in the middle of the night. If you're a pumping mom, if you're a nursing mom, heck, even bottle feeding mom, it doesn't even matter. You're up every 2 to 3 hours. It's tiring. You're doing it all day. You're doing it all night. And then if you're like me, where you have to keep your house clean, like you're still cleaning up, you're cooking. I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm trying to get enough water in. You know, it's just so much on you as a new mom, or as a second or third time mom, that it can be very depressing. So it's important to pay attention to your mental health. Very, very important to pay attention to your mental health during this time, because you just never know how having a baby is going to affect you. I just knew I was going to be a wreck, but thank God I just wasn't, you know, and I believe for these reasons. Seek out visitors. It's so, like, if you can seek out visitors, that will be so helpful. We started having visitors probably within like a week of Sire coming. Like, we had everybody wearing masks. We, you know, laid a blanket on him. But the visitors were just so nice, because I'm in a house all day and I like to be out. It's nice outside. You know, I like to be out and doing things as well. So having those visitors were so important to me. Just to be around family and friends, to be around other adults. You know, my husband is there definitely supporting as well. But it's nice to have other people in your circle come and visit you. Okay, but that's up to you. You know, if you don't want visitors right away, that's fine. You know, just definitely do whatever you have to do in that time period in regards to visitors. Get out the house for a bit. You know, it's nice just to get out the house. Even, you know, I looked forward to going to the doctor's appointments, and afterwards Jamila and I would stop and get lunch somewhere and just chill out, just have a nice little day, you know, try to make a little day of it. You know, once you recover, obviously, if you had a C-section, that's much different than a vaginal birth. So once you're feeling better, getting out for lunch or ordering in lunch, or just sitting on your porch, like you know, whatever you want to do to make yourself feel better. That's what it's about. Also, another thing that helped me was because I was a pumping mom, Jamil was able to get up overnight and feed the baby. And I suggest if you have a partner there helping you, or just a partner there with you, getting on different schedules to figure out what would be best for you guys. So for example, Jamil and I try every other night, then we try every 2 nights, and now, meaning he would care for Sire overnight one day, and then I would take the next day, and then back and forth. And then we also did every 2 days, but I felt like my day was just coming up so quickly. I just couldn't take it. So we started doing, he takes 8:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. and I take 2:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. / the next day. But it's great because eventually Sire started sleeping all through the night. So it's been great. But in the beginning, like the first 2.5 to 3 months, he was not sleeping through the night. He was getting up every 3 hours to eat. And I was taking over that second half, you know. But because I was pumping and not nursing, I was able to get enough sleep. So if you are struggling really badly, and you are a nursing mom, consider pumping and giving the baby a bottle overnight and nursing during the day. Try to figure out new things that you could do that would be helpful to you. Also, let's talk about monitoring your symptoms. You know, really pay attention to how you feel. You know, if you're not feeling it, just really pay attention. Don't let your feelings go by the wayside. Pay attention to how you're feeling. Talk to your doctor. Also, look into some healthy distractions. Like for me, some of the healthy distractions when I was starting to feel sad was I would watch some funny videos on YouTube. I love YouTube, obviously. I would watch funny videos on YouTube. I would take a shower. Just even if I took a shower, I would take another shower just to like refresh myself. Take a walk. Watching, I love movies, so I had a Netflix on watching movies, just something to distract your mind from being so sad, you know, just a little healthy distraction. It's so good. And even getting out in nature, starting back hiking, that was been a wonderful thing. Shout out to Black Girls Hike Buffalo. That was helpful. And also, again, phoning that friend is a major key. Phoning that friend, baby, let me tell you, talking to somebody is so helpful when you are down, all right? And even talking to my mom, my dad, them coming over and helping me, just get your village together so they could come help you. My parents coming to watch Sire so I could take a nap or so I could clean up. Me dropping Sire off to them. My godmother's coming over, Sire's godmother's coming over to help. My best friend's coming over. Just everybody who cares about me pitching in some type of way helped me from experiencing postpartum depression. Phoning a friend, having visitors come over, all helped me keep postpartum depression at bay. And we're 3 months in now and I feel great. I really do. Are there times that I do feel sad? Not really, but it's mostly like, oh, he's growing up, like that type of sadness. But not necessarily mental health wise. I'm feeling pretty good, you know. But I want to switch gears and talk to you about some postpartum journals that I absolutely love. And this was a big part of me keeping postpartum depression at bay, okay? Journaling. There's different types of journals and I want to show them to you. Before I show you the journals, I did want to talk about the Edinburgh Postnatal Depression Scale. So it's a 10-question scale, okay?